What's going on, guys? It is a lovely Wednesday afternoon. The birds are singing and we will be reacting to a few videos that I was sent last week. So let me know what your take is in the comments. Let's get into it.
Him paying the bills is not that much. So if he lets you live in the apartment with him and he is fully taking care of the bills for this apartment, it's not that big of the deal and it's not something wow brilliant, okay? And I'm not saying that it's wrong. Of course, this is something that is expected from the man. He is such a provider man because he pays all the bills. Honey, this is not much. Like, you would pay the same bills if you would live there alone. How much you're increasing these bills? Nothing. And also the bills is not that much. I think you can find easily a man who can also pay your bills, or he can even pay the bills of your apartment and you are not living with him. You know, you have one youth and you should, spend it with the right man, not with some pussy. And before you all tell me, but you are pretty and that's why you can say like this. I was not always pretty, and on my page I was showing already multiple times how I used to look before and what I did to change my looks. So check it, okay?
Okay, let's get this straight. So now we're saying paying the bills isn't that much. And if a man doesn't pay your rent, even when you're not living together, he's a pussy. You got that, guys? Pay all her bills. Don't be a pussy. Is that really where we want to go? Rather than appreciating a man's time, hard work, and investment, we are going to hypocritically devalue an action that you would never do for him. Imagine being expected to cook and clean every day for a man who is not your husband and you don't live with, and then he turns around and tells you that your effort is really not that much. It's the least you can do. It is the bare minimum. How would that feel? Would that encourage more effort or discourage it? It's hard to believe how many women watched that video and then commented their agreement and support. Let's address one such comment for entertainment purposes. He would be paying those bills anyways, so he's getting free sex and housework. This is one of the purest examples of girl math that I've ever seen. But first, do you expect your sex and services to be paid for? Are you his employee? And if he is paying you like a personal prostitute and maid, does that then give him entitlement over your body? Because that is where that road leads. And second, yes, he would be paying those bills regardless of you, but without him, you would also be paying your own bills. The average rent in my city is over $2,000 a month for a 2-bedroom. So that means the bills would cost over $25,000 a year. So he's actually saving you over $25,000 per year. And let's say you spend 400 hours cleaning. And I'm being generous because the statistical average is 300 hours per year. So 25,000 divided by 400. Technically, you are getting compensated $60 per hour for your cleaning services just by having the rent paid. People who don't grasp this very simple concept of teamwork are not only financially illiterate, they are also incredibly entitled, and entitled people are incapable of playing on a team. Do not waste your energy entertaining people like this. Let them sell themselves to the highest bidder like cattle. It's legitimately crazy to expect the man that you are dating to pay your rent when you're not even living together. Sure, some men have it like that, but 9 times out of 10, that man is not actually a good man. He is simply buying your compliance and your silence. And let's be real. If I personally had been paying the rent for the last 3 girls that I dated, $20K per year for those 8 years or so, I would not have the 6-figure investment portfolio that I have today that I can't wait to share with my wife and kids. So a woman who expects a man to pay all of her bills while they're dating is the opposite of a woman who is thinking about supporting and building a future with a husband and family. That is a woman whose only priority is what she can extract from you right now in the moment. And be warned, the price you will pay to choose people like this will cost you a lot more than money. Okay, next up, we have a case study of an invasive mentality amongst validation-addicted young adults who are growing up on social media.
Being friends with people who create content is not for the weak, because they're gonna use your life for content. Anything you do to them, especially if it's juicy, that's turning into content. People I'm even friends with who are like going through shit, I've taken it and made a video out of it. Like, we're getting content at any cost, so be careful who you piss off, because they might turn it around and make it like a TikTok story. So sorry.
No, I don't think being friends with a content creator is the issue here. I think being friends with a bad friend is the issue. Someone who uses people like pawns for personal profit. I like how she exposed herself at the end by saying, be careful who you piss off or it could get posted on a story. That was a threat. The whole video was just justifying being a terrible person. But what does this mentality look like when it comes to love and relationships? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let's watch another video of hers together, shall we?
The reason why I think it's so important for a man to bring value to a woman's life is because the world is designed for women to be single. There's more for us to get out of life if we're single. Things start becoming free. We start getting invited to like a million different things. People want to take care of you as a woman. They want to invite you to parties. They want to invite you to events. And so when a woman locks herself down with a man, she is closing off a lot of opportunities to be with him. And if he's not providing a value to her, or at least matching like what she would have been losing out on, then being with him is a loss. Like, she's taking a loss to be with him. You guys know I was in a relationship like pretty much all of last year. And obviously when you're in a relationship, you're loyal, you're not meeting new people, you're not like taking the opportunities that are being presented to you, like free things that are being presented to you. But now I'm single, and like obviously the same opportunities and better are being presented to me. Now I'm actually taking them. And I'm just reflecting on the last year and thinking about how much I missed out on while being with this person. But for someone new to come into my life, they have to somewhat match that level of like the life that I'm living right now while I'm single, and all the things that I'm getting, all the dinners that are getting paid for, that sort of stuff. So if he can't even match that, like, why would I give up what I have now, like all these opportunities, for somebody that's like not even measuring up? Sorry if that's harsh.
So what we're saying here is the level at which you can be an attention whore with a roster of men trying to get in your pants that you are extracting energy and resources from 7 days a week. All of that is now supposed to be leveraged as a personal loss to be compensated by any man interested in building a relationship with you. I'm sorry, but no man alive can satisfy that type of void. And any man who tries will never be doing enough. And the second he tires of jumping through hoops like a trick pony and lets off the gas pedal or wants a little bit of reciprocation, she will already be seeking out validation elsewhere. Okay, are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained?
Now, I get these videos were extreme examples, but I would be lying if I said I'm not seeing more and more people becoming more narcissistic and more like this than ever before, especially people who are chronically online, feeding into their delusions. So how about we do one more video that's a little bit more of a question than a rage farming expose.
Why do men work so hard to get you? And then when you finally get them a chance, they won't put in the work to keep.
Okay, a couple of things here. First, understand getting a foot inside the door and building a home are two very different things. The first is about validation and acceptance, and the second is about sacrifice and vulnerability. People usually hit the brakes somewhere between the two. But the thing a lot of women don't want to hear is that men are also vetting you for red flags and compatibility. Yes, maybe you saw his intention and persistence and thought, okay, he's so serious about me, I'll open the door. But maybe once he got inside the house, he didn't like the decor. Men can lose interest too. And no, that does not necessarily mean it's because all men are pigs and the only thing he wanted was one thing, and once he got that, he had to leave. Although a lot of us will keep you around just for that one thing if you let us. And Maybe that one thing is the thing that you lead with and the only thing he really likes about you. I think men often overlook a woman's character at first, distracted by their beauty and a desire to gain acceptance and, of course, lust. But before long, he starts to notice some of the things that he may not like the closer he gets to you. A lot of us men can overlook those flaws for short-term gratification, but not when it comes to long-term intention and investment and commitment. Anyone can show up to the limerence masquerade and do a mating dance, but it's when the music slows down and the masks come off that true colors show. And remember, just because they showed interest does not mean that you are owed investment. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure that you leave a comment. Let me know what you think. I'd love to connect with you and learn from you. And make sure you subscribe and like, because that will help me continue to create content.